everyone, it's Cursive Excursions, and thank you so much for joining me on this adventure of learning to write in cursive. So I am a teacher. I teach elementary and middle school students, and I have discovered that many of my students have handwriting that could be better. Many of them have not had extensive cursive instruction like I did. When I was in elementary school, starting in second grade, I grew up in a time when we had to learn how to write in cursive. So in second grade was when I began with one writing style, and then I moved, and then I had to learn a new writing style. The cursive that I write in is a combination of Danielian and Palmer styles. So in any case, when I was growing up, we had to write in cursive. Second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, we had to hand in papers in blue or black ink in cursive. And then when I was in seventh grade, that kind of dropped off because, people had access to computers and obviously typewriters. So from then on, all my papers are written and typed double-spaced, which is kind of the standard that we have today. And as time went on, starting around 2001 or so, with No Child Left Behind, a bill that President George W. Bush passed, handwriting, cursive instruction declined significantly because they determined that it isn't helpful for test scores, and with the rise in technology, we won't need to know cursive anymore. So a lot of teachers have stopped teaching cursive, and teachers nowadays who grew up around 2001 and beyond have not had the instruction of cursive instruction themselves. And so now that they're teaching kids, they don't know how to teach their kids cursive either. So I have decided to make a video series on how to learn cursive. My goal for this series is not only how to learn cursive, but also how to learn how to sign your name in cursive, because at the least we need to know how to sign legibly, not just with a scribble and not just with necks. So for this series, you will need a couple things. One, you obviously need a pencil. I'm just using like a regular mechanical pencil, nothing special. If you want to use a mechanical pencil, if you want to use like a wood and graphite pencil, like the ones that we all grew up using and maybe still use, that's fine. It just needs to have a good eraser and obviously graphite. And if you need a pencil sharpener because you're using a regular pencil, that's fine. If you're using a mechanical pencil, make sure you have extra lead. Also, I will be showing you how to write in cursive using a handwriting tablet like this. This is really handy because you have lines and dots and all this stuff, and this is so helpful to know how to write your letters legibly. The dots in the middle give you a guideline for where the middle of the line is, etc. You do not need this, but I highly recommend having it. Another thing that you will need is a notebook. This is just a regular notebook. I like it because it says think happy thoughts on the front. But also, it's just a notebook. I will be showing you how to write the letters in double space, but also in single space. There, my fingers. Okay. In double space as well as single space. Because obviously it's easy to write letters large, but we also need to know how to write letters small. And this is basically the size of our letters as they will be, but just to get a sense of how to write the letters, we'll write them large first and then we'll write them small. And then the last thing that we'll do is we'll practice writing words. This is obviously at the beginning. I'm not going to show how to write names until we've gone through the whole alphabet, uppercase and lowercase, and then I'll start to write names. Please note that the way that I am introducing the letters is not going to be in alphabetical order. Writing A's is different than writing E's, is different than writing P's, etc. So the letters will not be going in alphabetical order. That is on purpose. I'll also start with lowercase first and then uppercase. Lowercase, in my opinion, is a lot easier to learn. Uppercase definitely has its challenges. And even I, as someone who has had cursive practice and calligraphy practice for many, many years, struggle with uppercase letters just because it's a little bit more cumbersome and it's just a little bit more unusual. And I'll get into that later. I am so excited that you're joining me for this journey. I do have a Facebook page, so they'll be cross-posting on Facebook, also using at Cursive Excursions. And I look forward to learning and teaching you as time goes on. Thank you so much for joining me.